Okay, here we go. We're going to be live in a second here. It's checking my stream. And we are live. All right, we are live. Okay, I want to do another jam track review for you guys. Just want to preface this by saying that not putting myself forth as some kind of like, Guthrie Govan or anything like that. I'm just an average guy like you who is still working on it, still trying to grow, still trying to get better as a guitar player. So that being said, we're going to be talking about elevated jam tracks. This is one of my absolute favorite jam track channels. We'll do other ones as well as we go. My plan is to, in 2019, do these like maybe once a week, something like that. So I'm going to jam along to the track here for a minute or so, go through a chorus or so, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing, kind of how I'm thinking about it, maybe give you some insight, and I'd love for you to leave some comments and let me know what you guys think and like kind of like how you approach it, because I'm interested in getting better. And I think we all get sort of like tired of our own licks, and we're looking for some way to improve or to not sound like us. We're always like, I suck, I want to sound like this guy or that guy. So if you got some ideas or some thoughts on your own, some scale ideas, arpeggio ideas or whatever, throw them in the comments, and we'll go back and forth, and it'll hopefully be like a cool learning experience for everybody. Hopefully I have a little something to bring, and I'm looking forward to what you have to say about it as well. So we're going to start it off right now. This is a dark atmospheric rock guitar backing track jam in F minor. So let's just go ahead. Before I talk too much, we're just going to jam it for a minute, and we will see what happens after that. Okay. The chords to it are F minor, A flat, E flat, B flat, F. There's a turnaround or a bridge with a B flat over D, and an actual D flat as well. So let's talk a little bit about the sort of harmony that's going on with this. For most of it, it is if you are one of those people that like theory, it is really F Dorian, which is, I'm going to go ahead and just pause the track so it's not. Oh, sorry, F Dorian, not G Dorian. And which is the second chord or the second mode in the E flat major scale. So essentially, most of the track is actually in E flat diatonic. So if you play around E flat, you play the E flat chord arpeggios from the key of E flat, which would be E flat, F minor, G minor, A flat, B flat, C half diminished or whatever that is, and then back to E flat. If you work around those arpeggios, those chord forms, those shapes, you're going to be right on for most of it. There is a sort of bridge section where we go from D flat to C. So it's got this sound. So there you go to regular F minor, F Aeolian, which is actually the key of A flat. So there's a little bit of a key change there. I always try to, you can play right through it. Like if you're just playing around, especially if you're using mostly pentatonic, it becomes irrelevant. If you want to do something a little bit more, you're playing the F Dorian. If you, depending on how you're phrasing it, you can get away with that D natural through there, you know, as long as you treat it more as a passing tone. So you do like a type thing instead of, you know, hanging on it whenever they're trying to play this note, so you don't get this weird clash. So if you're playing a D natural and the thing is, you'll get that if you're like the just hanging on it. But it's a quick chord change too, so that saves your ass as well. But if you really want to be slick with it, try to work that in when that D natural comes along. That basically takes you, what that does is that turns the B flat chord that's in the song into a B minor, B flat minor. Okay, so it's this harmony to this harmony. So you could even play a B flat minor arpeggio, but it's very quick. It's not something that they really, it's like a, okay. F is a flat key, even F minor and F minor Dorian are both kind of flat keys. So this is a cool track because it gets you out of the typical, you know, A, or E minor, or G, or whatever, all those typical sharp keys that guitar players like to play in, and gets you into, you know, thinking a little bit differently and kind of stretches you a little bit. So I think it's a very cool track. The other thing I like about elevated jam tracks is they are all around 10 minutes, which is like not really typically the solo you would play. You typically wouldn't play a 10-minute solo with just the same repeating chord patterns, but it gives you a chance to practice ideas. So those changes, like I mentioned, that sort of modulation from the F Dorian to the F Aeolian modes, you have a lot of opportunities to kind of practice that, to kind of like see how you can work that in. Also, if you're not warmed up when you start to jam, you will be when you're done. And there's some cool things also that you can do. I'm not a big two-handed tapper. It's something I am woefully weak on, but I'm going to play a little bit because you can do some fun tapping stuff in F with some open strings. Check this out. This is a cool thing you can do. Watch. So there's a lot of opportunity here to kind of explore a lot of different stuff. Different key. So things I like about this. The length. The length is good for this, for practicing, for learning. So kudos on the length. Kudos on the flat key. Okay. The production and everything is very, very cool. What elevated jam tracks does not do, and I don't believe is trying to do, is there isn't a lot of dynamics. Some of the other jam track channels out there that we're going to talk about in future videos have more dynamics. It's treated a little bit more like a real song, whereas this is like usually 2 different patterns put together, repeated over and over, well produced. So when you're playing along with it, you got that like feeling. You can crank up your amps or whatever. I think so. I think it's a very cool jam track, and I really appreciate Elevated Jam Tracks putting up such great tracks. I have learned a lot from them. So there's a link in the description below. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys all on the next jam track review. My name is Lou Lombardi, and there's some links below to the jam track, as well as to my webpage where you can sign up for some cool stuff, and I hope you guys will check it out. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you guys on the next jam track review.